I find in this letter here that Don Pedro Veracon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen has he lost in this action?
Few of any sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. But I find here that Don Pedro has bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing, in the figure of a lamb, the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation, and you must expect me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina. We'll be very much glad to hear of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appeared much joy in him. Even so much that joy cannot show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. It is better to weep at joy than to joy at weeping.
I pray you, is Signor Montanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none in the army of any sort.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. And my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the bird bolt. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he will be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service in these wars, lady.
You had musty victual, and he hath hoped to eat it. He is a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord. A man to a man. Stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, we are all mortal.
You must not stir mistake my niece. There's a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They do not meet, but there is a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off. Now is the whole man governed with one. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
It's possible.
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but it's the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No. If he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squire now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord. We'll hang upon him like a disease. He's sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio. If he hath caught the Benedict, it will cost him 1,000 pounds ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Too good friend.
You will never run mad, niece.
No, not till a hot January.
Don Pedro's approached.
Good Signor Leonato, are you come to meet your trouble? The fashion of the world is to avoid custom, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides and happiness takes its leave.
You embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so.
You in doubt, sir, that you asked her?
Oh, why no, Signor Benedict, for then were you a child?
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly, the lady fathers herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all of Messina. As like him as she is.
I wonder you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die when she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Why, then is courtesy a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies. Only you accept it. What I could find in my heart, I had not a hard heart. For truly I love none.
a dear happiness to women. They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I'm of your humor. For that. Rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loved me.
Oh God, keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse if it were a face such as yours were.
Well, you are a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
When my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer, but keep your way, in God's name I have done.
You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old.
That is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend, Leonato hath invited you all. He hopes we shall stay here at least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us here longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you shall swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. I must bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please let your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonato, we will go together.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
You ask as an honest man should for my simple, true judgment, or would you have me speak after my custom as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation can I afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome. Being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with a sad brow. Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she's the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, were she not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is it come to this? Shall I never meet a bachelor of 60 again? I'll go too, a faith, if thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Oh, look! Here comes Don Pedro, returned to seek you.
What secret hath held you here that you followed not to Leonato's?
Would your grace would constrain me to tell?
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
That goes across this.
You hear, Count Claudio, I can be as secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he's in love. With who? That is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen. If you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my 2 faiths and troths, my lord, I spoke mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And never could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a recheat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me. I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, which I go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I will see thee ere I die look pale with love.
With anger, sadness, or with hunger, my lord, never with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood from love than I can get again with drinking. Pick out mine eyes with a ballad maker's pen.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict there had pluck out the bull's horns and set them in my forehead, let me be vilely painted. And in such great letters as they write, here is a good horse for hire. Let them signify under my sign. Here you may see Benedict, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Well, in the meantime, Signor Benedict, repair to Leonato's. Commend me to him. Tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, so I commit you.
My liege, your highness now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonato any son, my lord?
No child but Hero, she's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord. When you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant. In their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying, I liked her ere I went to wars.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was it not to this end thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love that know love's grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look what will serve as fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have revelling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it presently.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds. Therefore, the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being as thou say thou art, born under Saturn, goes to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, smile at no man's jest, eat when I have stomach, and wait on no man's leisure, sleep when I am drowsy, and tend on no man's business, laugh when I am merry, and flatter no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take true root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I would rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. And it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love of any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man, it must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I'm trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore, I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. So in the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Now who comes here? What news, Baraccio?
I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato. And I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will this serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he, a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marry, it is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio.
Even he.
Proper squire. And who? And who? Which way looks he?
Marry, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward march chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer as I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in hand in sad conference. I wished me behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Having obtained her, give her. Come. Let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him anyway, I bless myself every way. Now, you are both sure and will assist me.
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is the greater that I am subdued. If the cook were of my mind. Shall we prove what is to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
Oh, how tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I'm heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedict. The one is too like an image and says nothing. The other too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Senior Benedict's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Senior Benedict's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse. Such a man would win any woman in the world, if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband, if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
In faith, she is too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way. For it is said God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a too cursed cow, he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just, if you send me no husband. For the which blessing I am at him, upon my knees, every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. Rather lie in the woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman. He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man, and he that is more than a youth is not for me, and he that is less than a man, I am not for him.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, Faith, it is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, Father, as it please you. But yet for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, else make another curtsy and say, Father, as it please me. Oh.
Faith, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
Well, daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you be not wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him that there's measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero. Wooing, wedding, and repenting are as a Scotch jig, a measure and a syncopace. The first suit is hot and hasty like a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly, modest as a measure, full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the syncopace faster and faster till he sink into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight.
Oh, here come the revelers. Oh, make good room.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I'm yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company.
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so.
When I like your favor, for God defend the lute should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof, within the house is Jove.
Why then, your visor should be thatched.
Speak low if you speak love.
Well, I wish you did like me.
So would I not. For your own sake. For I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I sing my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God matched me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer that, clerk.
No more words. The clerk has answered.
Will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my good wit out of 100 merry tales. Well, this was Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you. What is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him, and the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I'm sure he is in the fleet. Would he have boarded me?
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure, marked not or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy. Then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
And every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them at the next turning.
Sure, my brother is enamored on Hero and withdraws her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, yet but one visor remains.
And that one is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may play the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
Well, I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too. He swore he would marry her tonight.
But come. Let us up to the banquet.
Thus answer I in the name of Benedict, but hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch, against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, Hero.
Count Claudio.
Yea, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow. About your business, County? Come, in what fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck, like a usurer's chain, or under your arm, like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince has got your Hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Well, that's spoken like an honest drover, so they sell bollocks. But did you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray you, leave me.
Oh, you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl. But that my Lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. The prince's fool? Ha! It may be I go under that title because I am merry, yea, but so I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base, though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person and gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Have you seen him?
Troth, my lord, I played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here, as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace had got the goodwill of this young lady. And I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland, as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod, as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy, who being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust to transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made. And the garland, too, for the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed upon you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If their singing answer your saying, by my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
She misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak, but with one green leaf on it, would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I'd been myself, that I was the prince's jester. Ha! That I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance on me that I stood like a man at a mark with a whole army shooting at me. Oh, she speaks poniards and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her if she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules turn spit. Yea, and have cleft his club to make the fire too. Come, talk not of her. You will find her, the infernal Ate, in good apparel. Oh, I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly, while she is here, a man may live as quietly in hell as in a sanctuary. And people sin on purpose so they could go thither. So indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes.
Your Grace, command me any service now to the world's end. I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpick from the furthest inch of Asia. I'll bring you the length of Prester John's foot. Fetch you a hair off the great Cham's beard. Do you any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. Do you know employment for me?
None but to desire your good company.
Oh, God, your grace. Here is a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
Come, Lady Beatrice, you have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it me a while, and I gave him use for it. A double heart for his single one. Marry, once before he won it of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then? Sick?
Neither, my lord.
The Count is neither sick, nor sad, nor merry, nor well, but civil, Count? Seville as an orange, and something of that jealous complexion?
In faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true, though if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I broke with her father, and his goodwill obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortune. His grace hath made a match in all grace. Say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot stop his mouth with a kiss, and let not him speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it, poor fool. Keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good lord. For alliance. So goes everyone to the world but I, and I am sunburnt. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey-ho, for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord. Unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day. But I beseech your grace pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and out of all question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord. My mother cried. But then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those things I told you of?
Oh, I cry you mercy, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There is little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She's never sad, but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then, for I've heard my daughter say that she will dream of unhappiness and wake herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means, no, my lord. She will mock all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Oh, Lord. My lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk each other mad.
Count Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love have all his rights.
Not until Monday, my dear son, which is hence just a seven-night, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer my mind.
Come, you shake the head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you three will minister such assistance as I will give you direction.
I am with you, my lord. Though it cost me 10 nights watching.
And I, my lord.
And you, gentle hero?
I will do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. This far can I praise him. He is of noble origin, of approved valor, and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to counsel your Beatrice that she will fall in love with Benedict. And I, with your two helps, will so practice on Benedict that he will, in spite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me and I will tell you my drift.
God! It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonato.
Yea, my lord. But I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I am sick and displeasure to him. And whatsoever comes, athwart his affection, ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Briefly, show me how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince your brother. Spare not to tell him he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation you mightily hold up to a contaminated stale, such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Oh, proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonato? Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them, I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal, both to the prince and Claudio, as in love of your brother's honor, who hath made this match, or his friend's reputation, who is thus like to be cozened with the semblance of a simple maid that you have discovered thus. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window. Hear me call Margaret Hero. Hear Margaret term me Claudio. And bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can, I will put it into practice. Be cunning in the working of this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn the day of their marriage.
I do much wonder how one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, having laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the very argument of his own scorn by falling in love. Such a man is Claudio. I've known when there were no music with him, but the drum and the fife. Now would he rather hear the tabor and the pipe? I've known when he would have walked 10 miles afoot to see a good armor. Now will he lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. Now, as he turned to orthography, his words a very fantastical banquet, so many strange dishes. May I be so converted, and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I will put my oath on it. Till he hath made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall never come in my grace. Rich she shall be, that's for certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be what color it please God. The prince and Monsieur Love, I must hide me in the arbor.
Come, shall we hear this music?
Yea, my good lord. How still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See you where Benedict hath hid himself?
Oh, very well, my lord. The music ended will fit the kid fox with a pennyworth.
Come, Balthazar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, good my lord, tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
It is the witness still of excellency to put a strange face on his own perfection. I pray thee sing and let me woo no more.
Because you talk of wooing, I will sing. Since many a wooer doth commence his suit to her, he thinks not worthy, yet he woos, yet will he swear he loves.
I pray thee come, or if thou wilt hold longer argument, do it in notes.
Note this before my notes. There's not a note of mine that's worth the noting.
Why, these are very crotchets that she speaks. Note notes, forsooth, and nothing.
Now divine air. Now is his soul ravished. Is it not strange that sheepscot should hail souls out of men's bodies? Well, a horn for my money when all's done.
Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever. One foot in sea and one on shore, to one thing constant, never. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your songs of woe into hay. Nonny, nonny. Sing no more, ditties, sing no more of dumb so dull and heavy. The fraud of men was ever so, since summer first was leafy. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your songs of woe into hay. Nonny, nonny. Into hay. Nonny, nonny.
By my troth, an excellent song.
And an ill singer, my lord.
No, no, thou singest well enough for a shift.
If she had been a dog that had howled thus, they would have hanged her. Pray God her bad voice bodes no mischief.
Yea, Mary, dost thou hear, Balthazar? Come, get us excellent music, for we would have it tomorrow night at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
The best I can, my lord.
Do so. Farewell. Come hither, Leonato. What was it you told me of this afternoon? That Benedict was in love with the Lady Beatrice?
Oh, aye! Stalk on, the foul sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful, she should dote on Senior Benedict, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Is it possible? Sits the wind in that corner?
I cannot tell you what to think of it, my lord. But that she loves him with an enraged affection, 'tis past the infinite of thought.
Maybe. She doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Oh, God, counterfeit? There was never counterfeit a passion that came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did, indeed.
How? I pray you. You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I would think it's a gull, but that the white-bearded fellow speaks it. Knavery cannot hide himself in such reverence.
He hath ta'en the infection. Hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swear she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true, indeed. So your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that have so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This she says when she is beginning to write him, for she will be up 20 times a night, and there she'll sit in her smock till she has writ out a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now that you talk of a sheet of paper, I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
When she had writ it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheet.
That.
No, she tore that letter into 1,000 halfpence and railed at herself that she should be so immodest to write to one she knew had flout her. I measure him, says she, by my own spirit, for I would flout him if he writ me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She does indeed. My daughter says so. And the ecstasy has so overborne her that my daughter is afeard she will do desperate outrage to herself. 'Tis very true.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would make but a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
If he should, it were an alms to hang him, for she's an excellent sweet lady, and out of all question she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
And everything but in loving Benedict.
Oh, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body. We have 10 proofs to 1. Blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have doffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you tell Benedict of it and hear what he will say.
Were good, think you.
Hero thinks surely she will die. For she says she will die if you love her not, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if you woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she were to make tender of her love, 'tis very likely he'll scorn it. For the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He's a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God, and in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
As Hector, I assure you. And in the managing of quarrels, you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with a most Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God, he must necessarily keep the peace. But if he do break the peace, he ought to enter a quarrel with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, for the man doth fear God, howsoever it seems not in him by some large jest that he will make. Well, shall we tell Benedict and see what he will say?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that were impossible. She would wear out her heart first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself how unworthy he is of so good a lady.
Will you walk, my lord? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage, and no such matter. That's the scene I would see, which would be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him in to dinner.
This can be no jest. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of it from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? Why? Well, they must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, she would rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are those that hear their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis the truth, I can bear them witness. And virtuous. 'Tis so, I cannot reprove it. And wise. But for loving me. But by my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument to her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks or remnants of wit broken against me because I've railed for so long against marriage, but doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat of his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Should quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day, she's a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank thee for your pains.
I took no more pains for those thanks than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure then in the message.
Yea? Just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a doll withal. You have no stomach, senor. Fare you well.
Against my will, I'm bid to come take thee to dinner. Well, there's double meaning in that. I take no more pains for these thanks, and you took pains to thank me. Well, that's as much as to say, any pains I take for you are as easy as thanks. If I do not love her, I'm a villain. I will go get her picture.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the Prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Oh. Say thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the pleached bower, where honeysuckles ripened by the sun forbid the sun to enter, like favorites made proud by princes that advance their pride against the power that bred it. There will she hide her to listen our purpose. This is thy office. Bear thee well in it and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warrant you, presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest dangling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream, and so greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the wind-eyed coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
And go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false, sweet bait we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful, for I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince in my new trothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look upon, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. Therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black, why, nature, drawing of an antic, made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is, cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, she would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore let Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. 'Twere a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy. Always accepted my dear Claudio.
I pray you be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedict, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor goes foremost in report through Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day. Tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We've caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell. Maiden pride, adieu. No glory lives behind the backs of such. And Benedict. Love on. I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness will incite thee to join our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then I go toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. No, I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I, methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him truant, there's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
Well, everyone can master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
Nay, he rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out by that?
That's as much as to say the sweet youth's in love.
Indeed, the greatest note of it is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude, he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That what I warrant know too, I warrant one that knows him not.
Yes, in his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
Old Signor, walk aside with me. I've studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak with you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
For my life to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good even.
If your leisure served, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you. Yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that, when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not, and let that appear hereafter. And aim better at me, by that I now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart had hoped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why, what's the matter?
I come to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for the lady has been too long. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she. Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you a worse title, and I will fit her to it. But wonder not till further warrant. Go but with me tonight, and you shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her, then tomorrow wed her. But it better fits your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it.
Look, if you trust not what you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight why I should not marry her, tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed, there will I shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, there will I join with thee to shame her.
I will disparage her no further till you are my witnesses. Now, bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
Day untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
Oh, plague right well prevented. So you shall say when you see the sequel.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were a pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
But nay, that were a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most disheartless man to be constable?
George Seacole, sir, for he can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both. Which, Master Constable?
You have. I knew it would be your answer. Well, as for your favor, sir, why, give God thanks and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need for such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man to be constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all Bagram men. You shall bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if he will not stand?
Why then, take no note of him and let him go. And presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
Well, if he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True. And they shall meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We would rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to a watch.
Ah, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman. For I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your betons be not stolen. Well, you're to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk, get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then, let them alone till they are sober. And if they make you not the better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir?
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with him, why, the more is for your honesty.
If we know them to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on them?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The more peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How? If the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying. For the ewe that does not hear her lamb when it baas will never answer a calf when he bleats.
Well, this is very true.
This is the end of your charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. And if you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, by Our Lady, I think he cannot.
5 shillings to 1 on it to any man who knows the statutes. He may stay him. Marry not without the prince be willing, for indeed the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offense to stay a man against his will.
By Our Lady, I think it be so.
Masters, good night. If any matter of weight chances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsel and your own. And good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, we hear our charge. Let's go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
One word more, honest neighbors. I pray you, watch about Signor Leonato's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there'll be a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
What, Conrad?
Peace. Stir not.
Conrad, I say.
Here, Matt. I'm at thy elbow.
Mass in my elbow itched. I thought a scab would follow.
I shall owe thee an answer for that. And now, forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close, for it drizzles rain, and I, like a true drunkard, will utter all to thee.
Some treason, but yet stand clear.
Therefore, know I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Why, yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
Tush, I may as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed. He has been a vile thief this 7 year. He walks up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
No, 'twas the vane on the house.
Seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is?
All this I see, and yet I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man. But art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so neither. But know that tonight have I wooed Margaret, the Lady Hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans me out her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. Oh, I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio, and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master, Don John, saw far off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they, Margaret was Hero?
2 of them did, the prince and Claudio. But the devil, my master, knew she was Margaret. And partly by his oaths which first possessed them, partly by the dark night which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander Don John had made, away went Claudio enraged, swore he would meet her the next morning as was appointed at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw overnight, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you, in the prince's name, stand!
Call out the Rhine Master Constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of lechery that ever is known in the Commonwealth.
And the one deformed is one of them. I know him. He wears a lock.
Masters! Masters!
You'll be made bring deformed forth, I warrant you.
Masters!
Never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
We're like to prove a goodly commodity being taken by these men.
A commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
Good morrow, cuz.
Good morrow, sweet hero.
Why, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I'm out of all other tunes, methinks.
Clap us into light of love. That goes without a burden. Do you sing it? And I'll dance it.
Light of love with your heels, then. If your husband have stables enough, you'll see he shall lack no barns.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that. With my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. Oh, by my troth, I am exceeding ill. Hey, ho.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For the letter that begins them all. H.
Well, and if you be not turned Turk, there's no more sailing by the star.
What means the fool, trow?
Nothing, I. But God sent everyone their heart's desires.
These gloves the Count sent me, they are an excellent perfume.
Oh, I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell.
Oh, a maid and stuffed? There's goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me. God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your hat. Oh, by my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Carduus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It's the only thing for a qualm.
There thou prickest her with a thistle.
Benedictus, why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus.
Moral? No, by my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think, perchance, that I think that you were in love. Nay, by Our Lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I can. Nor indeed I cannot think, if I would think my heart out of thinking, that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love. Benedict was such another, and now he's become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in spite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not. But methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help me to dress, good cuz, good Meg, good Ursula.
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Mary, this it is, sir.
Yes, in truth, it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
Good man Verges speaks a little off the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as, God help, I would desire they were. But in faith, as honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God that I'm as honest as any man living, or that is an old man, and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous. Palabras, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
Ah, it pleases your worship to say so. But we are the poor Duke's officers. But in truth, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find in my heart to bestow it all on your worship.
All thy tediousness on me?
Yea, if 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as any in the city. And though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Mary, sir, watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, and taking a couple of his errant knaves as Eddie and Messina.
A good old man, sir, but he will be talking. As they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is a world to see. Well said, in faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God is a good man. And two men ride of a horse, one must ride behind. An honest soul, by my troth, he is as ever broke bread. But God is to be worshipped. Not all men are alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, he comes too short of you.
Ah, gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, has indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them examined this morning before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am in great haste as it may appear unto you.
It shall be suffigant.
Have some wine ere you go, and farewell.
My lord, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I'll attend to them. I am ready.
Go, good partner. Get thee to Frances Seacole and bid her bring her pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do it wisely.
Yes, sir. We will spare for no wit, I warrant you. Here's that shall drive some of them to non-com. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and meet me at the jail.
Come, friar. Be brief and only to the plain form of marriage. You may recount their particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
to be married to her. Friar, you come to marry her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any, hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any, count?
I dare make his answer none.
Oh, what men dare do. What men may do. What men daily do not knowing what they do. Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato! Take her back again! Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Comes, oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married. Not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you in your own proof have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity.
No, Leonato. I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee, seeming. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
True? Oh, God.
Leonato, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face hero's? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
As thou art my child, I charge thee do so.
Oh, God, defend me, how I am beset. What kind of catechizing call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Marry, that can, Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he? Talked with you yesternight, out at your window betwixt 12 and 1. Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why, then you are no maiden. Leonato, I am sorry you must hear, but upon my honor, my brother, and this grieved count and myself did see her, hear her at that hour last night, talk with the ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret. Oh, fie. They are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There's not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, Hero! What a hero hadst thou been if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. For thee I'll lock up all the gates of love. And on my eyelid shall conjecture hang, to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm. And never shall it more be gracious.
Hath no man's dagger here a point for me?
How now? Does it wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light, smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, uncle! Hero, my hero. Uncle! Signor Benedict Friar.
Oh, fate, lift not thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that can be asked for.
Oh. How now, cousin Hero?
Have comfort, lady. Dost thou look up? Yea, wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why does not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her own blood? Do not live, hero. Do not open thy eyes. Thought I that wouldst not quickly die. Thought I thy spirit stronger than thy shapes myself would, on the rear root of reproaches, strike at thy life. Ah! Grieved I had but one. Kin I for that in frugal nature's frame. Oh, one too much by thee. Why had I one? Why were you ever lovely in my eyes? Why had I not, with a charitable hand, taken up a beggar's issue at my gate? Who besmirched us admired with infamy? I might have said, no part of that is mine. That shame derives itself from unknown loins. But mine, and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine I was proud of, and mine so much that I to myself was not mine in valuing of her. Oh, why she has fallen into a pit of ink to the wide sea, had drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little, which may season give her foul tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. As for my part, I'm so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not. Although until last night, I had this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Oh, confirmed. Oh, that is stronger made than was before barred with ribs of iron. Would the two princes lie and Claudio lie, who loved her so that in speaking of her shame, washed it with his tears. Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little. For I have been silent only so long giving way unto this course of fortune. By noting the lady, I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face. 1,000 innocent shames and angel whiteness beat away those blushes. And in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the airs of these princes hold against her maiden true. Call me a fool. Trust not my reading nor my observation, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my book. Trust not my age, my reverence, calling nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting air.
Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that the only grace she has left is that she will not add to her damnation the sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seekst thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. O my father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmeet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprison in the princes.
2 of them have the very bent of honor. If their wisdoms be misled in it, the practice of it lies in John the Bastard, whose spirits toil in frame of villainies.
I do not know. If they speak but truth of her, these hands will tear her. But if they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall hear it. Time has not so dried up this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention. nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor my bad life bereft me of friends, but they will find, awaked in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability of means and choice of friends, to quit me of them thoroughly.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you. Your daughter here, the princess, left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mournful ostentation, and on your family's old monument hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What will this do? What will become of this?
Mary, this well carried shall in her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good, but not for that dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying, as it must be so maintained, upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For so it falls out, that what we have, we prize not the value of it whilst it was ours. But being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value. Then we find the virtue that possession would not show it whilst it was ours. So it will fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his word, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life, into the eye and prospect of his soul, than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, that her love had interest in his liver, and wish that he had not accused her. No, though he thought his accusation to be true. Let this be so, and doubt not but successful fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it down in the likelihood. But if all else be but level false, the supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation, in some reclusive and religious life, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signor Leonato, let the friar advise you. Though you know my inwardness in love is very much unto the Prince and Claudio, yet by mine honor I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your body should your soul.
Being that I've flown grief, the smallest twine may lead me.
'Tis well consented. Presently away, for the strange sore, strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live. This wedding day perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Oh, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such a friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in this world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you, but believe me not. And yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear to it that you love me, and make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
There's no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
Do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me tonight, very well.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We will be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height a villain that has slandered, scorned, dishonored my my kinswoman. Oh, that I were a man. What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rank, oh God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
We'll talk with the man out at a window, a proper saying.
Hey, but Beatrice...
Sweet hero, she is slandered, she is wronged, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties. A princely testimony. A goodly count, Count Compact, a sweet gallant surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake. Or that I had any friend that would be a man for my sake. Manhood is melted into curtsies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He's now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Thinkest you in your soul the Count Claudio has wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I'm engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand. So I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Now go. Comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. Farewell.
Is our whole dissembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Mary, that I am, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, Mary. Let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Borachio.
Pray, write down Borachio. And yours, Sirrah?
I am a gentleman, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yea, sir.
We hope.
Oh. Write down they hope they serve God, and write God first, for God defend, but God should come before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we are none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, sir. A word in your ear. I say to you, sir, it is thought you are false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside, for God they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, Mary, that's the effest way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Oh, write down Prince John a villain. But why, that's flat perjury to call the prince's brother villain.
Master Constable.
I pray thee, fellow. Peace. I do not like thy look. I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Mary, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully.
What? That's flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yea, by mass it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean, upon his words, to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villains, may thou be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this did suddenly die. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands.
Off, coxcomb! Oh, God's my life! Where's the sexton? Have a ride down the prince's officer, coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Away! You are an ass! You are an ass!
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that she were here to write me down an ass. But masters, remember that I am an ass. Oh, though it not be written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, villain. Thou art full of piety, which will be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise man, which is more, an officer, which is more, a householder, which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any in Messina. And one that knows the laws. Go to. And a rich fellow, enough, go to. And a fellow who hath had his losses, and one who hath had 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been rid down an ass! Oh.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself. And 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee cease thy counsel, which falls upon mine ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no man delight mine ears, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a father who so loved his child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak to me of patience. Measure his woe the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, as thus for thus, or such a grief for such, in every lineament, branch, shape, and form. If such a one will smile, stroke his beard, bid sorrow wag, cry hem when he should groan, patch grief with proverbs, and make misfortune drunk with candle wasters, bring him yet to me, and I of him will gather patience. But there is no such man. For sister, men can counsel and speak comfort to those things which they themselves not feel, but tasting it, their counsel turns to passion, which before would give perceptual medicine to rage, fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air, and agony with words. No, it is every man's office to speak comfort to those that wring under the load of sorrow.
but no man's virtue nor sufficiency to be so moral, when they should endure the like himself. Therefore, give not me counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
Therein do men from children nothing differ.
Beast! I will be flesh and blood. There was never yet philosopher that could endure the toothache, however he writ the style of the gods or made a push at chance or sufferance.
Yet bend not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speaks reason. I will do it. My soul doth tell me hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know, and so shall the prince and all those that thus dishonor her.
Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily.
Good even, good even.
Good day to both of you.
Here, my lord.
We have some haste, Leonato.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. What? Not so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him?
Mary, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler, thou. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy weapon. I fear thee not.
Mary, beshrew my hand if it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to my gun.
Tush, man. Never fleer nor jest with me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool who, under the privilege of age, would brag what he had done when he were young or what he would do were he not old. No, Claudio, thou hast so wronged mine innocent child and me that I must lay my reverence by, and with gray hair and bruise of many days do challenge thee to trial of a man. I say, thou hast belied my child, and thy slander has gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors, in a tomb where scandal never slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy.
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, let me prove it on his body if he darest, despite his nice jaw and his active practice in May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou would kill me, boy, thou wilt kill a man.
He shall then kill two, but that's no matter. Let him answer me.
Sister.
Content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she is dead, slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer a man. Indeed, as I take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops.
Sister Antonia.
Hold you content. What man? I know them, yea, and what they weigh, even to the utmost scruple. Scrambling, out-facing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go antically, show outward hideousness, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And this is all.
Both you now, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord.
I will not hear you.
No. Come, sister, away. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, Signor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, Signor. You are come to part almost a fray.
We would like to have had our two noses snapped off with two old folks without teeth.
Leonato and his sister. But thinkest thou, had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I've come to seek you both.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is at my side. Shall I draw it?
As I am an honest man, he looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man? What though care killed a cat? Thou hast mettle enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I will meet your wit in the career if thou charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject.
By this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, so I may have good cheer.
What a feast, a feast! Fare thee well, boy. You know my mind. I leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blades, which, God be thanked, hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies I thank you. I must discontinue your service. Your brother the bastard is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. As for my lord Lackbeard here, he and I shall meet. Until then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest.
In most profound earnest, and, I'll warrant you, for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
But soft you let me be, pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall never weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, if you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now, 2 of my brother's men bound, Braccio one.
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanderers. Sixth and lastly, they belied a lady. Thirdly, they verified unjust things. And to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what is their offense. Sixth and lastly, why they are committed. And to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Rightly reasoned, and in his own division.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answers? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood.
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me and let this count kill me? What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John your brother incensed me to slander the Lady Hero, how you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments, how you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I would rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation. And briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in that rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath reformed Signor Leonato of the matter. But masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass.
Here, here. Oh, here comes Master Senior Leonato. Ooh, and the sexton, too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I notice another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look on me.
Art thou the villain that with thy breath hath killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
No, not so, villain, thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men, and a third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it in your high and your worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
I know not how to pray your patience, but I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not but in mistaking.
No, by my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I'll bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people of Messina here how innocent she died. And if thy love can labor aught in sad invention, hang her an epitaph upon her tomb. Sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house, and since you cannot be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My sister hath a daughter, almost a copy of my child that is dead, and she is heir to both of us. Give her the rights you should have given her cousin, and so dies my revenge.
Oh, noble sir, your generous offer doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer, and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow morning, I'll expect your coming. Tonight, I must leave you. This naughty man must face to face be brought to Margaret, who was racked in all these wrongs, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul she was not. Nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always hath been just and virtuous in anything I do know by her.
Moreover, sir, which indeed is not under white and black, the plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let that be remembered in his punishment. And also, I heard the watch heard them speak of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear and a log hanging by it, and he borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long and never paid. That now men grow hard-hearted and will lend nothing for God's sake. I pray you, examine him upon that point.
I thank thee for thy cares and thy honest pains.
Oh, your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you.
There's for thy pain.
Oh, God save the foundation!
Go, I discharge you of thy prisoners, and I thank thee.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. May God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. May God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart. And if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, fare you well, my lords.
Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
We will not fail.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We will talk with Margaret how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
The God of love that sits above and knows too high. It's really high. Let's try it lower. And knows me and how pitiful I deserve. I mean, in singing. But in loving, Leander the good swimmer, Troilus the first employer of panders, and a whole book full of those quondam carpet mongers whose names it runs smoothly and even rode of a blank verse, why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self with love. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I've tried. I can think of no other rhyme to lady, but baby. An innocent rhyme? For scorn, horn. A hard rhyme. And for school, bool, duel, fool. A babbling rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yea, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Stay but till then.
Then is spoken. Very well now. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that I came. That is, with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words. Thereupon I shall kiss thee.
Foul words are but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frighted the word out of his right sense, so forcible is thy wit. I must tell thee plain. Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I must subscribe him a coward. But I pray thee tell me, for which of my bad parts do thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which maintains so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love? It's a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably. Now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and mend. Thereupon I shall leave you too, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is author of all who's fled and gone. Will you come? Presently.
Will you go hear this news, Signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I shall go with thee to thy uncle's.
Is this the monument of Leonato?
It is, my lord.
Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death, in guerdon of her wrongs, gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb. Now, music, sound, and sing your solemn hymn.
Pardon, goddess of the night, those that slew thy virgin night, for the which with songs of woe round about her tomb they go. Midnight, assist our moan, help us to sigh and groan heavily, heavily. Brave Zion, and yield your dead, till death be uttered, heavily, heavily.
Thus unto thy bones good night. Yearly will I do this right.
Good morrow, masters. Put your torches out. The wolves have prayed. And look, the gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus round about drapples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Thanks to you all, and leave us. Fare you well.
Good morrow, masters. Each his several way.
Come, let us hence, and put on other weeds, and then to Leonato's we will go.
And Hymen now with luckier issue speed us, than this for whom we rendered up this woe.
Come, friar, be brief, and only to the plain form of...
I understand perfectly. But did I not tell you that she was innocent?
Yes, so are the Prince and Claudio, who were accused upon some error that you heard reported. And Margaret had some hand in this, although against her will, as it appears in the true course of the question.
Well, I am so glad that all things sort so well.
As am I, being else by faith and forced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Daughter and gentlewomen all, withdraw you into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked. The Prince and Claudio have by this hour promised to visit me. Sister, you know your office. It is to give my daughter to young Claudio.
This I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, Signor?
To bind me, or to undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth it is, good signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
The eye my daughter lent her, 'tis very true.
And I do, with an eye of love, requite her.
The sight whereof I believe you got from me, from Claudio and the Prince. But what is your will?
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But as for my will is your good will may stand with ours this day, to be conjoined in a state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I shall desire your help.
My heart is in your liking.
And my help. Oh, here comes the Prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are you yet determined to marry my sister's daughter?
I'll hold my mind. Were she an Ethiop?
Sister, call her forth. The friar is ready.
Good morrow, Benedict. What's the matter that you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storms and cloudiness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
The same is she, and I do give you her.
Why, then she's mine. Sweet, let me see her face.
No, that you shall not, till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like of me.
And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband.
Another hero.
Nothing's certainer. One hero died defiled, but I do live, and surely as I live, I am a maid.
Fair hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, while yet her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify. When after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell thee largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonders seem familiar, and to the chapel let us present.
Soft and fair, friar. Which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no more than reason.
Why then, your uncle and the Prince and Claudio have been deceived, for they swore you did.
Do you not love me?
Troth? No more than reason.
Why then, my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon that he loves her, for here's a paper, written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, writ in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedict.
A miracle. Here is our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee. But by this light, I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you. But by this good day, I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace. I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince. A college of woodcrackers could not flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No. In brief, since I do propose to marry, I shall think of no purpose that the world can say against it. Therefore, never flout at me for what I have said against it. A man is a giddy thing, and I have found my conclusion. As for thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I'd well hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, that I might have cudgeled thee out of thy single life.
Come, we are friends. Let us have a dance ere we are married, to lighten our hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have a dance afterwards.
First of my word. Therefore play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife. Get thee a wife.
My lord, your brother John is ta'en in flight and brought back with armed men to Messina.
Think nothing of him until tomorrow. I shall devise thee brave punishments for him. Now strike up, pipers.